Well, if you ever feel like there's just not enough time for you to do the things that you want to do, or even to do the things that you know you need to do, and you're struggling to keep up, and it just seems like there's not enough time in the day to get any of it done, well, then this episode's for you. This episode's for you because I'm going to share two ways. These two kind of approaches and things I try to focus on that help me to be effective with my time and to make the most of it. That's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome to Enjoy Life. I'm your host, Nick Mason. This podcast is all about choosing what we do so that we can make our lives more how we want them to be. Life is not perfect and never will be, but if we're intentional with what we do, life can be great and we can enjoy it. Here, I will share with you information that I've learned through my journey through struggling with addiction, getting my life back on track, earning a master's degree in psychology, helping people as a vocational counselor, being a busy dad of wonderful twin girls, and my continued efforts in self-development. I'll share with you actionable tips, suggestions, and information that are all things that I try to do in my own life. Let's get ready for today's episode. Well, welcome to episode 143 of Enjoy Life. I'm glad that you're here and joining in. I'm looking forward to this episode because not having enough time to do what we need to do or do what we want to do, that's a struggle. That's a struggle sometimes. And it has such an impact, on our lives and definitely on us being able to enjoy our lives. When we feel like there's not enough time in the day just to get things done or let alone have a little bit of time for ourselves, that just makes everything tough. It does. I know I can't be the only person out there that's experienced that. And so if that's you at all, then it's great that you're joining in this episode. If you do like this episode or any of your past episodes, make sure that you subscribe. There's a million podcasts out there these days, and if you don't subscribe, you might miss it. And also, one more quick thing, connect with me on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you. You can take a screenshot of you listening to this. Man, I got a great message the other day. Someone did that to, posted an episode. I think it was through Spotify. They hit the little share button. It came across my Instagram, and that was really, really cool. I really appreciate that. All right. So connect with me there. On to today's topic. We don't have a lot of time because that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about making the most of your time. So that's what I said. If you ever feel like that you just don't have enough time for the things that you want, the things that you need, or even there's not even a chance of having time for yourself, then that's all the more reason why you got to make the absolute most of your time. Your time is so crucial. It's valuable. It's the most valuable asset that you have, pretty much, is your time. So today we're talking about two things, kind of two approaches, two things that I try to be try to put forth effort in to make sure that I'm doing so that I can make the most of my time. And hopefully at least one of these two ways will help you. And it's just really a way to make your time count. It's valuable. It's a valuable resource. Your time is huge. You got to make it count because it is so valuable. So these two approaches or two ways to make your time count. The first one is being intentional, and being intentional with what you do, when you do it, and your actions. Really being intentional with how you use your time. It's a conscious choice. And the second one is really being present with what you're doing. They're a little bit like two sides to the coin. They both can really make your time count. Really make your time count. Because you only have so many minutes in the day. And you only have so many days in your life. So please make the most of them. You can do amazing things in your life. You can do great stuff. You just got to make your time count. So how do you make the most of your minutes? Well, to make the most of those minutes, I try to just maximize what I do by finding those minutes. Because, all right, I'm a busy dad of twin girls. They're amazing. I love my family. At the same time, it doesn't really give me a lot of extra me time to, think about what I want to do and to, lounge around, get a little relaxation in or take my time and to go and do a house project. No. My family is worth the effort and the energy by all means, 100%. It's also worth the effort and energy to do the things I need to do and that I want to do by finding little bits of time in the day. Don't give up on something, just because you don't already have the extra time. All right, so maybe you're not a parent. Maybe there's other demands for your time and attention and energy and all that. Then don't give up on something just because you don't already have the extra time available for it right now. There's a little funny thing, extra time really doesn't ever happen for most people, because we tend to just fill our time, whatever time we have available, we tend to fill it with things to do. So you have to find those extra minutes, or those, not extra, but you got to find those minutes and then do those things that are most important to you in those minutes. So for me, one of the things I do is I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning because at least I got a chance at getting up before everybody else. Sometimes the girls like to wake me up or sneak downstairs when I'm trying to get some work done. That's okay. There's no perfect routine, but I know if I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I got a chance. I got a chance to be able to get some of the things done that I want to get done, that I need to get done so that I can pursue my goals. So you can wake up early, add a little bit of time in the day by doing that. The next segment of my day that I really maximize my minutes is normally about 11:30 in the morning. It's typically when I take my lunch break. I mean, I'm hungry from the get-go. And I've already woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to take an early lunch. And a lot of times, I'm getting back into the habit. I shouldn't say a lot of times. I'm getting back into the habit. The whole COVID-19 threw me for a loop, and I cut off my gym membership. But now I'm back going to the gym during my lunch break. And when I get to the gym, I don't really have time to shower, so I can't really work out too hard, but I can get a little bit of exercise in. I can do like a handful of machines, and I can get out of there and get back to the office really fast. And then I'll have enough time to eat, and I'm back at work. So I try to sneak it in by, it's not the ideal workout session. I know, I get that. That's okay. But I'm not going to allow a limitation on my time hold me back from getting the things done that I want to get done for me and my life and my family and my goals. So you find time in between. Now the next time that I really know that I make the most of my minutes is normally at about 5:15. About 5:15. See, a lot of times I pick up the girls from daycare. And then now, this is kind of like my time with the girls. I'm not taking strides, toward, my goals with the podcast or exercise. Sometimes we'll go for, take the dog for the walk, or I can push the stroller. But this is the time to really just cherish, that time with the family, because making the most of your time isn't always just getting stuff done. Making the most of the time is being intentional, being present, in those times that you have with the people that you value, that you care about, that you love. That's what makes life great. Yes, pursue your goals. Believe me, this podcast most of it's about goals. So yes, pursue your goals. But don't give up on the things that are truly important to you that are right in front of you. And that's where my making the most of my minutes about that 5:15 time is really important. So a lot of times that's just me and my girls, and we're able to spend that time together. And then the 7 o'clock one is when we get to kind of, a lot of times, snuggle up, read a book, watch a show after dinner, and then it's, all my girls. And so that's a really cool time too. But it's really being intentional with finding those times in my day that I can make the most of them by either, striving toward goals, finding time to get the things that I need to get done so that I can pursue my goals, so I can take action. And then also about that being present, being present with the people that I care about and the people I love. Because what's the point of pursuing your goals if you don't get to enjoy the life to get there? And spending time with the family that I love, that really, it does a great thing for me to be able to pursue my goals. So all that's about, really making sure that I'm making the most of my minutes. And then to make the most of the days, that really is, being present doing what I'm doing. Being present with the people, but also when I'm taking actions toward my goals, being present. Because time is precious. This is when I think of kind of me just snuggling with my two little girls on the couch, watching some princess movie or show. All right, that's not really what I'd prefer to be watching. But, giving myself permission to really just be present with them and enjoy being with them and enjoying our time together, that is it's a huge thing for me. Because they kind of like hold each of my arms and they got me wrapped around them and they won't let go. And But I have to give myself permission to really be present there because of all the things on my to-do list and the things that can be distracting me mentally. Like, oh, I'm just sitting here. But the more present that I am, and really give myself permission just to be present, enjoy those moments, enjoy those precious moments with loved ones. It does such a huge thing for helping me to enjoy my life, to make sure I'm on track, that it's not just about these goals down the road, but it's about living the life in between to get there. And what's really cool is that when I'm present in those moments, when I really feel like I'm giving myself permission just to be with those people I love and enjoy that time, then when it comes time for me to take actions toward my goals, and I'm doing the early mornings or the lunchtime break workouts, or staying up late at night working on this podcast or the website, when I'm doing those things, I have more energy to do them then when I'm finding those minutes in the day, because of being present with those that I care about, reminding me what's important and what I'm going after and pursuing the better life for them and for my family, myself. It's an interesting thing how both sides can impact the other side, because I'm making my time count, and it just kind of makes all the different pieces come together. I really feel like the more that I make the most of my minutes, that helps me to make the most of my days. And that the more that I'm really making the most of my days, so by being present in those days, that it really helps me to take advantage of those minutes and find those extra minutes. It gives me that extra energy and that boost, because it really brings me back to my why, the reasons why I want to achieve my goals. And a lot of that's rooted in my family. And that helps me to really take those extra actions when I don't feel like getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, or I don't really feel like going to the gym on my lunch break. I'd rather sit and have lunch and relax. Because if you have goals that are important to you, you've got to do the extra work. And making your time count, it'll not only help you to make progress towards your goals, but it's also going to help you to really bring in those values and those reasons why it's important, to help you to enjoy the effort that you're putting forth, and for it to be a lot less miserable while you make that progress. So bringing it back, make your time count. It's a valuable thing. Make the most of your time. Be intentional with what you do. Be present with what you're doing. Find those minutes in those days so you can make the most of your minutes, and then make the most of your days by being present. That's it. Just make your time count. It is precious. It is precious, and what you do matters. But you got to take advantage of that time, because you're going to fill that time with something. So make it count. Well, thank you for listening to Enjoy Life. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Do make your time count. It is precious. If you like these episodes, make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss a single one. You might miss that one. That could be really helpful to you. And if you do get some value out of it, share it with somebody. So you can either take a screenshot, post it on Instagram, let me know, @NickMazy. You can rate and review the podcast. That's a huge help to help more people find it. Or just share it with somebody that you think could benefit. Maybe there's somebody that that really needs to be making the most of their time, because they have goals, they have things that are important to them, and they're letting time slip away. Don't let that happen to them. Share this podcast with them, and you might just help them out. All right. Thanks for listening. Take care, and talk to you the same time next week.